2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Arthur, Belky, Urkel, Nickelodeon. They gotta be raised by TV. Mom said don't be raised by TV. 'Cause we gotta be raised by TV. To put it simply, they gotta be raised by TV.
Barbecue sauce.
Hi, Gabrus.
Hi, Lapkus.
I'm very excited about this episode.
I'm very excited about this episode.
Okay, so we tried something new. Welcome to Raised by TV. We decided this week to watch the pilot and the finale of a show both of us never saw back in its heyday.
So we put out a Twitter poll, and some of the shows on the Twitter poll were Veronica Mars, ER, House, and something else that escapes me.
Same, I can't remember it.
Probably like Empty Nest or 30-something or something like that. But the winner was, and we learned that has a cult following that is still around and still follows the RBTV Twitter. Mm-hmm. And they voted Veronica Mars into our...
I know. I never wanted to watch this show growing up.
When did it come out?
So, okay, it came out...
in like 2004.
Yeah.
So I was a senior in college. I
was a senior in high school.
I would not be excited to watch a show with like a female lead that is sort of like, in my head, I thought it was like a female OC.
I thought it was like alien stuff. Like I thought she had like superpowers or something. Yeah, I guess it was probably just the name Mars made me think that. But I always was like, I don't watch stuff like that. And it was on UPN, which became the CW, and that also was
That's
like
a strike against it from
network. Yeah.
That's a strike against it for me, for sure. Yeah.
And so I was just like never into it.
But years later, I would eventually have like a sort of crush / appreciation on Kristen Bell. Like I really was like, and I don't know what movie got me into. She's in Sarah Marshall, right?
Yeah.
Sarah Marshall. She was like so good in that and so beautiful. I was like, I'm into her. And then someone's like, oh, you should watch Veronica Mars. I'm like, I still don't know about that. And they're like, trust me, people like it. It's got a cult following. Yeah. It's really interesting. And I never, ever. And then recently there was a Veronica Mars movie, right?
Yes, and I auditioned for that.
Did you?
Knowing nothing about it. And I had to do an Australian accent. So I'm sure there's someone Australian in the film. Would have been much better than casting me going like, Pliny or whatever the fuck. But I put this on yesterday, and I was like, I wasn't even in the mood. I was just like, what is this going to be? Like, I really had my bar was very low. I was like, this is going to suck, basically, is what I thought.
I was like, oh, thank God it's not an hour-long show.
Yeah, I was like,
what
good,
I literally
it's only
said.
30 minutes. Yes, I had the same thing.
I thought it was going to be 44 minutes.
Yeah.
I put it on, and...
I loved it.
I watched the pilot, and I told my wife this. I almost texted you, but I didn't want to like spoil.
Yeah, same.
But I was like, I don't want to watch the finale.
Me too. I wanted to watch the whole thing.
Me too. I was hooked. I was like, oh shit, there's 60 episodes of the show. I should do this.
I know. And
the pilot comes out fucking swinging,
so good.
dude.
The pilot is so good. It is like... First of all, it's very like Clueless vibes right off the bat. Like
because it's
like
a wealthy California high school in Neptune, California. It's like Malibu.
And they're like, they also had like the My So-Called Life sort of font on the credits, and I was like, I love this. Yeah. And it was all songs that I love, like indie music from the time.
The music is peak. Like I couldn't even believe some of the songs that were in the pilot.
I know.
Shout out to anyone who watches stuff on Amazon. They have X-Ray, which is like when you move your mouse over the screen, it just pops up IMDb. So it tells you all the actors in the scene with links to their IMDb profiles and the song that's playing.
That is amazing. I was watching it on iTunes.
Yeah.
And then just Shazamming the shit out of it.
I was a big fan of the OC. Like I got turned on to the OC in college.
I think
by
the
Tiff.
OC might have been the show that I brought up as an option, but you had seen it.
Yes, I had watched a bunch of it, and because like Tiff was into it, and I got into it, and I enjoyed sort of like the rich California drama of it all. Yeah. And then that's here in Veronica Mars. But would you say that this show is like oddly poignant for 2018?
Yeah, well, there's a lot that's like really heavy that happens in this pilot.
Yeah, and this aired 14 years ago.
Yeah, and they really go for it in a way that I thought, whoa, I don't even think I was aware of other shows that were this bold on a network.
Right, on like a CW. Yeah, so it's like she's a high school student who works at her dad's private agency, her dad's private investigating firm. Yeah. Mars Investigation or whatever. And she's like a photographer and she helps her dad on cases, but it sounds like she does a little bit on her own. And then it's revealed she's like
Badass.
Fletch or Magnum PI or any of these iconic male 80s movie characters that I grew up obsessed with. The fast talker who wasn't necessarily the tough guy, but could get in and out of scraps by being being smarter than everyone and being thought out ahead of time. And then that's what this character is. Yes. And just seeing it played by a female, I'm like, this is so fucking awesome.
It is so cool. And it made me, what I really was saying as I was watching it, I was like, this is Clueless meets Dexter, which is like two of my favorite things.
Oh, interesting.
And it's kind of like OC meets Dexter, I guess.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I've never seen that really. So for me, it was like the Clueless kind of comedy. There's some humor in there. And then the Dexter thing of like, she has this secret life that no one really knows about. And she's badass at what she does.
Yeah.
And like, I love Dexter so much. So I felt totally in for this show. I think I am going to go watch the whole thing.
I'm going to go back and watch every episode in between. Yeah. I'm like bummed that I watched the finale.
Me too,
but when we talk about it, like not a lot happened in the finale.
And because we don't know a lot of these characters, it's like it's hard to feel like it was spoiled. Like I think there are things where well, hold on. Let's keep going with the pilot a little bit.
Well, because the pilot's a little complicated too, because the pilot starts you off with all their characters' backs. The characters all have history.
Yeah.
Like ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, potential rapist,
yes.
like all this weird shit.
And she gets date raped or not even date raped. She gets raped at a party and roofied. And that I was like, this is so intense. But also, that's part of what I really loved about it. I was like, this is amazing that they're going to tell a story like this.
It felt like after I just watched 13 Reasons Why.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
And I was like, it's fine.
I watched the first episode, I think.
It's pretty like heavy drama, but I was like, Veronica Mars was doing this heavy duty shit before. And the tone of Veronica Mars is like, there's one scene in where she's like staggering the morning after being roofied and raped. She's like staggering in. And then the next scene, she's like being funny in.
Yeah.
And it's like the tone is like,
it's really interesting.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's like, that's corny to say, but like there's something like it's wielded so
it's also weirdly like real. Like it's like your life would continue and she's not going to tell anyone it happened. Right. So
and her dad is played by that great ass character actor
from Just Shoot Me.
From Just Shoot Me.
What
yes.
is his name?
I forget his name. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's sorry, I can't remember what it is. There's so many good like characters in this. So like who are the main characters we think from the pilot?
Yeah. That's interesting too for people who have actually watched the whole thing, what we think is going to happen on the show.
Clearly based on the finale, she stays friends with Wallace.
The
snitch that she meets in the
I love that relationship too. I thought that was really cool. Okay, Enrico Colantoni.
Wow, yeah. He's so good. Yeah.
But the character Wallace, I loved that setup in the pilot. It was a little corny, like the way he's taped the thing, and then they have a couple corny moments, and she has some like throwaway line that's like really ridiculous while she's cutting him down and stuff. But like, I still was like, I'm in. Like it didn't rub me the wrong way in a way that like it pushed like the high school drama thing of it all. Like now we have a Latino biker gang who is taping snitches to the flag, but the overlap is from them working at a convenience store and stealing beer to high school. Like it feels weird to bring that kind of like snitches get stitches shit into high school. Yeah.
And the whole kind of conceit of the Latino biker gang and her becoming like friends with them. It's such an interesting, weird thing for a high school movie.
Yeah. No, and the lead of the biker gang is the kid from the Shaq movie where he's a genie.
Oh, he's from Shazam.
I was going to say Kazam, and I didn't want to get into this again.
Oh, right.
But people are always mixing those two up. What is Kazam?
I don't know. I think that's one of those Berenstain Bear type. It's like a Mandela effect thing. People remember it as two different ways. Some people remember it as it is Kazam. It is Kazam.
So people think it's Shazam because Shaq's in it.
Yes, and I think some people also think Sinbad is in a genie movie as well, and it's like one of those like fabricated like Mandela effect memories that everyone has.
Yeah. So that kid grew up to be the tough biker dude. Okay, and then there's like the great reveal. I hope I'm not mixing. Yeah, in the pilot where she basically is following the person of interest that her dad has been assigned.
So Amanda Seyfried is playing her friend, right?
Amanda Seyfried is her rich friend who's murdered.
Yes. And by the way, watching her as a young Seyfried, I know you get DJ Qualls a lot, but I see a little.
Thank you. My mom always says that
about Amanda Seyfried.
Yes.
Yeah, I see.
I'm like, I wish. But
I see it for sure, especially like
when she was younger.
Yeah, when because she's like weirdly kind of like paler and blonder now.
Yeah.
She's like a little more like
she's a little more girl next door as a child.
Yeah, and I was like, holy shit, she kind of looks like Lapkus. And because she looked familiar, but I didn't realize it was Seyfried. And I was like, holy shit, she looks like Lapkus. Oh my God, it's Amanda Seyfried.
I will take that. Thank you.
Oh, hey, no problem.
My mom will be really glad. That's better than the other role she always wants me to play, which is Gabby Gifford, the woman who is shot in the head.
Oh my God, the senator who got shot.
My mom thinks I should play her in like a biopic or whatever. And I'm like, there would be nothing that would turn out funnier on accident than me trying to be that. Like,
no,
that is
such
so
that is
wrong.
career suicide. Like to be like, here's what I want to do career wise. I want to be as I'm just about to really burst as a comedic actor. Let me try to do a biopic
where then I was shot in the head and I'm trying to relearn words. There is no way I can pull that off in a dramatic fashion without it being funny.
I think you could pull it off acting wise. I don't think like
a viewer could accept it.
Yes, exactly. I think you could. I think you're talented enough to do it, but it would be like you'd be bringing so much weight of all your comedy fans and shit.
It would be the
like,
weirdest shit that could possibly happen. I just love it.
So then the reveal, and like her mom leaves her. So what?
Yeah, I don't really get why the mom left the family. Is it because the dad fired because the dad ruined everything as a sheriff, town sheriff?
Yeah, he blew the court case. Like he blew the case somehow.
Basically, he kept saying that Amanda Seyfried's dad was the killer. No one else believed this. I think it tore the family apart. I guess the mom leaves. He gets fired as sheriff.
Somebody else went to jail.
Eventually, another person confesses and said they did it or whatever, and they go to jail. So, but meanwhile, he still thinks it's got to be the dad. The wife of the dad comes to the PI and tells him he wants him to go investigate the dad again for cheating on her, and then he goes out of town to do another case. Kristen Bell goes to follow the cheating husband at the motel, gets a picture of the car that the woman inside the motel is driving, finds out when she scans the plates that it's her mother. And meanwhile, the dad totally wants to drop the case, doesn't say why. They're not telling each other the information they have.
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's too dangerous. There's all these other people involved. We can't do this case. And she's like, okay, but I know it's my mom's car. And what is my mom doing with this man who may or may not have killed his daughter?
And it was really funny because it is like a cliffhanger ending to a pilot. And it's really funny to just jump to the last episode from that moment. Because I was like, nothing is answered from the pilot.
No. And
why would it be? That's not how storytelling works. No. It's not like we're going to set up something.
They want you to be hooked.
Yeah, they're not going to tell you like, don't worry, we'll solve this in 60 episodes.
Yeah.
And also the finale felt like, and I don't know much about the history of the show or anything like that, but the finale felt like they didn't know it was going to be a series finale.
No, I actually read that they purposely left it open-ended so they could do a movie if possible later.
Oh, okay.
So they really didn't tie it up. So it was kind of interesting as somebody who had not seen any of it to be left in the same position as people who watched every episode and be like, what the fuck? That doesn't really clear anything up.
Right. That's how I felt. Yeah. I'm like, I feel bad I watched 2 episodes. Other people invested 60.
And which would be really frustrating. But I guess now the movie probably ties up a lot of loose ends.
Yeah.
But, okay, wait. Is there more to say about the pilot before we get into the finale? Because I want to make sure.
What was the weird group of white guy fucking surfer dorks that like her ex-boyfriend is like the mopey one? Because her brother, his sister.
The ex-boyfriend's sister is the one who's murdered.
Right.
Yeah.
This is so complicated. Not knowing anyone. And then there's Logan, who's like the asshole friend, but not her ex.
No.
But he's kind of like the douchey, like loudmouth one of their friends.
But she's so cool. I love her character, and I felt like she stands up for everyone around her, basically, even though she's kind of maligned at school. And you definitely get more of that in the finale. You understand how much she's hated, I think.
Yeah. Wallace is a good foil for her in the beginning because it's like, she's like, people hate me. He goes, yeah, I know. You seem like you think everyone hates you, but you did cut me down. You know, like you did do this, you did do that for someone else.
And I like the dynamic that is set up. I think like that's a cool relationship to be starting right in the first episode, that like basically these 2 kids who are ostracized for different reasons can help each other.
Yeah, and we saw it in the finale that they're still friends.
Yeah. And then I was wondering if they had a romance at any point, because in the finale there's some like she's hooking up with this other guy, Piz.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who the fuck is Piz? Everyone's name on this show, by the way. There's like Corny. There's literally someone named Corny in the pilot who she has like look into some shit for her.
Yeah, Corny will look into.
Yeah, Corny. Will you develop these photos or whatever? Like,
and then there's like there's Inga who works in like the evidence room.
I mean, I was wondering what the whole idea is with Veronica Mars and Neptune, California. It felt like, is there some purpose to this or greater meaning? Also, there were a lot of Wizard of Oz references in the first episode.
Yes, there is. Because the bad sheriff says, like, you
better go see the wizard.
You better go see the wizard and
get some guts. And then he says it to her, you see, which I guess... The main reason why I was like, I guess they said that because then you understand that that's the person who dicked her over when she reported her rape. Because he also says you need to go see the wizard and get something else. Some backbone. And then, but then also the other guys told, like the biker gang was like, we're going to get you and your little dog too, or whatever. And I was like, why are you all doing this?
That is weird. Yeah, that is.
But I thought the humor was like kind of cool, and I could see why it became really culty because it's a little weird.
It is a little weird. It is funny.
Yeah.
Like I laughed at the parts that I think that they were going for comedy. I thought some of the other parts were intense. And I think some of the best shows, for me at least, really do a good job of walking a weird tonal line. Yeah. Do you know, like, Search Party is like a new show?
I have not seen Search Party. Oh, dude. Okay, I know I need to. I've been wanting to watch this
it's
the whole time.
Really good. Yeah. And it's mesmerizing how they walk the line between, like, intense mystery and comedy.
I think it's like one of those shows that I forget over and over again because it's not on Netflix or something. Like, whenever I need to write down every show I want to watch because whenever I'm like bored and looking for something, I end up watching like the worst shit ever.
I got so mad at myself the other day because I just like watched some bullshit thing that I just like found something and threw it on, and I knew I had to watch these 2 episodes of Veronica Mars, and I still didn't do it. I still picked like a.
Let me tell you, I watched about 8 hours of TLC last night. This is just my life, but I also was excited.
I'm the same way. I'm like falling asleep watching a random movie with Tiff that I have noticed that she picked out that I've no desire to watch. And I have like 10 things that I have said expressly I need to or want to watch.
Well, and that was why I got so excited watching this pilot because I was like, oh my God, a new show I can be obsessed with because this is like really good and fun and totally, it really reminded me of Dexter so much that it got me so excited. I feel like I'm the only person who's been screaming about Dexter for like a year.
First of all,
10 years.
I would love to talk Dexter with you because I'm a diehard Dexter fan.
I fucking love Dexter.
Never felt a show fall off harder.
It's the worst ending to any show that's ever happened.
Like the last couple of seasons really suck.
It's true, but I was still in, I guess.
It falls off hard after Lithgow, and then like Jimmy.
That's a great season.
Jimmy Smits keeps it alive.
Yeah.
But then after that, with the girlfriend stuff, it got too like.
I know.
And. They just didn't land it.
Well, the ending was just too ridiculous for me. Like, I wanted a solid ending. I would have rather he just killed himself or something.
Yeah. That's the ending I want for everything.
Okay, let's take a break. We're back, and we have to talk about the finale. So we jumped straight to the finale, which is very funny, and it's immediately so much more dramatic feeling. It felt like they lost a lot of the quirk. And I wonder if that was just for the sake of the finale, that they wanted to wrap it up in a dramatic fashion or have some sort of... But it was missing like a lot of the poppiness of the first episode.
And it was a little bit less Veronica. Yeah, which was interesting too. So it jumps to like a weird... She's been sexually...
I thought for sure they're going to figure out who the rapist is. Now I'm wondering if we ever find out in the middle. Because I was like, if they wrap that up in this episode, that would be interesting.
Yeah, but it's like weird. Because that's what I thought they were like referring to with the video. I was like, oh my God, there's a video
and we
from that
find out who the rapist was.
Because she said she didn't remember.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God. So Piz was the rapist.
Exactly.
The video has dropped. And
but all it really was that she was hooking up with her boyfriend. And then, of course, wouldn't acknowledge that there was a camera because she wasn't aware that there was a camera.
Right. And it turns out neither was Piz.
Yeah.
But Piz gets blamed by Logan, who's her ex,
yeah,
who's now seeing someone new. Logan beats the shit out of Piz. They find out that the tape has been sent out by some Russian mobster kid.
Yeah. Okay, wait. And then there's this whole moment where they basically start to think that somebody is... who's connected to this tape is like rushing people for fraternity kind of style of like torture.
It's Skull and Bones. It's like
that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like beyond a fraternity. It's like that Yale or Harvard like secret society stuff called Castle at Hearst College, which is kind of the Hearst Castle.
Hearst Castle, yeah.
And so they're tapping the elite of the elite. So they're freshmen in college, which means. I mean, I don't know if season 1 and 2 is just senior year. I don't know.
No, I think it would.
Was it like junior, senior?
Well, there's 20 episodes a season, which it feels like a lot for a
In
show
my head,
like
I was just like, oh, so season 1 was junior year of high school, season 2 was senior. Yeah, could that be it? Because it might have had summer episodes.
Yeah. But so she ends up. I mean, I loved watching her like sneak into the guy's office,
into the fraternity.
Yes, and try to figure out like how to get this important hard drive that they have that has all this information on it. And she does get it. She's very cavalier with like the second they left the room, she like comes out from behind the curtain. I was like, give it a minute. Yeah. Like I would be waiting back there.
The classic like, well, I'm safe now.
Now that they're gone, they couldn't have possibly forgotten one thing and come back.
And on the hard drive is every single member of all of this secret organization going back to the 30s with. And this is where it got weirdly topical again. Compromise on all of them, like blackmail,
like Scientology sort of stuff, where like they had confess all of their secrets, so that they can always be held like in
right. So you can never come out
against the group or whatever. Yeah.
If you go to like reveal it, they're like, well, blah blah blah, including the guy who shot the guy who. They learn in this episode is the first person to send out the sex tape is when she confronts him, he drops his towel in the middle of conversation.
Okay, and I have a video because I got a new TV recently, and it's bigger than my old one, and I'm able to, every once in a while, I think, see things that are not meant to be in the frame when watching an old thing. And it is, I saw penis. Let me see.
I forgot about this. You told me about this. You texted me. You're like,
maybe I can. I don't know if it really matters if I link it up, but here, because the sound is just. It's just this. Oh, I can't do this. I need the other cord. So
that's
whatever.
Fine.
It's fine. It doesn't really matter the sound.
We'll put it up on IG or something to get you fired.
I'll definitely put this up when. Okay.
Get your account taken down.
Exactly. I think it's in a sort of nut sack, to hide his penis. But here.
What do you think you could do about it?
Ask Dominic DeSante. I can make your life hell.
I don't think you can. If you have proof.
Do you see it? Okay, wait.
Whoa, yes. Okay, for sure. There's a cocksock.
I can make your life hell.
I don't think you can. If you have proof that I'm in.
Full on.
Oh man, this poor actor. I'm sure that's so funny. I was screaming.
I got up and started filming it.
You were like, I just saw nuts, and I said, please take a picture. Is what I said.
Like already done. So good. But yeah.
So he drops his towel.
Yeah, which I was like, what the fuck? There's a lot of creepy sex stuff on this show.
Right. Is that just the CW vibe? Is it the sort of...
It's a lot of her being, in situations against her will.
Right, because that's like sexual assault.
She's raped in the pilot. She's filmed unwittingly when she's having sex in the finale, and then this guy shows her his penis. I can only assume that happens about 50 more times.
I know. As far as I'm concerned, this poor woman's been through the ringer in the middle 50 episodes. I will say something I noticed about this guy dropping his towel is that he kind of has he's like shirtless and he kind of has no muscle and has like a little bit of acne on his chest. And it's the most realistic looking freshman college guy vibe.
I felt that about all the guys on the show. They were real looking and real people in a way that I really liked. Like they're cute guys, whatever, but like they weren't like ripped in the way that I feel like everyone is now on things.
Yeah.
I liked it. I felt like the whole show, everyone was cast in a really realistic way.
It felt normal. Yeah. They all felt pretty normal.
Yeah.
But so the finale, like she gets the chick from Waterworld to help her hack. I forget what that little girl's name is, but she's the...
Tina Majorino.
Yes,
yeah, who I love. She's in Napoleon Dynamite. She's in...
yes, Napoleon Dynamite. That's the other place.
She's in Andre, the Seal movie I used to rent all the time, and then I owned it, not to brag. And then she's also in Karina as a child, which I loved that movie too, which is about like an interracial relationship between Ray Liotta and Whoopi Goldberg.
Right? Yeah. Yes. Oh, so man. Good. I haven't seen that movie forever, but she stands out as also the girl with the map on her back in Waterworld.
Okay, I've never seen that, so I don't know.
But she's like a hacker, a computer hacker. And
then at one point she has to go, Eureka! And I was like, don't make her say that. That was rough. But there's got to be some corny lines in every episode, I think.
So they hack the hard drive to get the info, and they start listening to the confessions. We see Wallace go through the confessions because he also gets tapped to be in the Hearst.
Yeah.
And because they're bringing in promising freshmen, we don't know what Wallace's skill set is as to why he would be picked. We don't know if he's a good student or whatever.
Yeah.
But then he reveals that like his dad killed someone in a car accident, or covered for him killing someone in a car accident, which is intense to learn about.
So intense. And then there were like a few other ones that happened.
We hear the Russian guys, and his dad, who's a made man in the Russian mafia, he reveals that his dad and uncle like killed and chopped up people in a wood shop.
Yeah, and then she was like, I'll let him get away with that one or something. I was like, why? Like there was somebody she said she was going to let off.
That was the one.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, well, I'll let him, like, because she was going to go after him about the sex tape. And then she was like, maybe I'll let it slide.
Gory or something? Like one guy was named Gory.
That was him, Gory.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were
the names were ridiculous.
Were the names all typos?
Yeah.
Like they just like left it in.
Piz, Gory, Corny.
These are my friends, Piz, Gory, and Corny. Those are 3 different ways I like to have sex. How do you like your how do you like your sex? Do you want Piz, Gory, or Corny?
Donald Trump's Piz tape.
That's
do you think, Piz tape.
Oh my God, is that what you think it is? You think Gory filmed Donald Trump in this room?
It's actually Piz and Veronica fucking, and we're like, wait a second, I thought it was a Piz tape.
And Trump still doesn't want that to come out. Not the Piz tape. I love all the Piz tapes. I love Piz. I love Gory. I love Cordy. You gotta watch the Piz tape. They're all in the castle. Elite of the elite. Better boats than us.
Okay, and then in the finale, you see that her dad is a sheriff, or works for the police again.
Yeah, he's back. He's running for sheriff.
Okay, oh yeah, but he's also in a uniform.
He's in uniform again. Well, sort of. He has no pants on. Which is like
that was
weird
fucking weird. I also thought they had like a very
Who's your daddy?
Okay, here's my theory. There's like a couple things to say about that.
Okay.
In the first episode, he said, "Who's your daddy?" so many times. It was very weird to me because that's something you say sexually. It's not something you usually say to someone who's your daughter.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
And then she's like really hates it at first, and then she's like, "You are." And then at one point, she like goes to say goodbye to him, and they're like steamily close.
And he goes, "Who's your daddy?"
It was really weird. And then I was like,
I thought she was going to kiss him on the lips.
Me too.
I swear to fucking God.
He was tilting his head. I swear to God.
I was like, what
so in
the fuck
first episode, I thought, that's not a real dad. We're going to find out the rich guy's her dad or something fucked up.
Right.
Which would be crazy because then she would have dated her brother at one point. Which I'm just putting together now, so maybe it doesn't happen. But I was like, maybe that's why the mom and the dad and that rich guy were in the hotel together because there's some relationship we don't know about them. That's really her dad, whatever. I was hoping. In the finale, there's no proof of that either way. I don't know. So I still might have that theory intact, but probably not. But she walks into her dad's office and he stands up and he's wearing no pants. And then she's like bringing him his pants. And I was like, this isn't normal behavior.
I think there's supposed to be a little bit of a nod to a husband and wife mentality in their relationship. I feel like as like a single dad and like a daughter with no siblings, it feels like because she kind of is like, he's like in the first episode, he's like, you better do blank blank, and she's like, I will, and he's like, I know you're not gonna, so make sure to bring backup, which is a great name for a dog. And then the
dog was like named Backup, which I thought was a kind of cute reveal. I also was like, when they were like, she's like, I love you more than anything. You know that, right? Or something. And I was like, this is the grossest. And then Mike was like, that's your problem that you think it's like gross that like this girl. Yeah. I was like, whatever.
Yeah,
shut up.
You're bringing some stuff in here for sure. What happens in this show in between?
I have no fucking clue. I have to watch the whole thing. I think I'm going to. I think that's going to be my summer plan.
I think maybe in a couple of months we could do a follow-up episode where we've now watched every episode.
I would love
and
that.
Bring in someone else who's a big VM fan, and like the three of us can chop it up.
I wonder if each season is similar to Dexter in that they have like one story. So it's like we'll clear up that whole Jake Kane story in the first season, and then it's a whole new thing.
That's what I'm hoping.
It seemed by the third that it was like a totally different world.
But like, to be honest, by the third season, when we're watching that finale, what is being wrapped up? It feels like it all came from that episode. Do you know what I mean?
Totally,
like,
it did seem like
the sex tape was revealed. It didn't feel like they were. It felt way more procedural, episodic than serialized in that episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think
episode 1 seemed to set up, we're going to be following the mystery of this.
Yeah.
Why my mom's involved, why my dad was fired, who really killed so-and-so. And then the season 3 finale episode we watched felt like everything was built from that episode.
Right.
With the exception of clearly the dad is running a campaign, but we don't see it. We don't see, like...
Yeah.
It's weird. There's no resolution. And she even gives the hard drive back.
I know. Wait, so I mean, it was interesting for me to read that they did that on purpose, like keeping it really like open-ended, but that must have been so frustrating to everyone. But so the film was released in limited theaters and video on demand in 2014, and it picks up 9 years after the third season. She's left Neptune. She moves to New York. She's in a relationship with Piz and has a job offer from the prestigious law firm Truman Mann and Associates. So I do feel like I want to watch the entire thing and then watch the movie and I want the full story.
Let's go for it.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a fun experiment. Let's go for it.
Awesome.
Your assignment, if you choose to accept it, is to watch 59 episodes of television and a feature-length movie. And by the next time we record.
I can do it. I also want people on Twitter to recommend shows that they think are like really important that we haven't really talked about, shows maybe we haven't really seen possibly.
Yes, yeah, because maybe we could even do this for some more shows that we have some blank spots on.
Yeah, because it's a great way to get totally sucked into something because I mean, and I recommended it for anyone who's like trying to try out a new show because I was like, okay, now I really want to know what happens in between.
Right.
Because I liked it. So, and if you don't like the show, then you're kind of like, oh, that sums that up. I don't have to waste, 30 hours of my life.
Right. It's like reading the first chapter and the last chapter of a book and then being like, I guess I'll read everything in the middle.
Yeah, I guess I get it.
So, my wife will sometimes, if the mystery is bothering her too much in a book, she'll go back and she'll just go to the end of the book and find out what the answer is and then be able to read the book safely. I'm like, that's insane.
I can never do that. I hate spoilers so much.
Me too.
I hate knowing anything. Like I don't even like watching trailers for movies really because I'd rather just like not know.
Oh.
Side note, what were you going to say?
Okay, because we both just got really excited at the same time. I was just going to say something so stupid, so you go first.
Mine's random. I was just going to say a trailer that I just saw that I really want to see the movie, which is called 8th Grade, Bo Burnham.
Oh, I'm a diehard Bo Burnham fan.
I was like crying watching the trailer. I had chills. It's about an 8th grade girl's experience, and it just is, it looks incredible.
Written and directed by a
30-something year old dude. Yeah. I was like,
he's so good. His stand-up specials are unreal.
He's really funny, but I was like, this is so cool and really opened my mind as to like what we all can be doing.
I can't wait
it was
to
really
okay,
what
so
were you
mine is also weirdly about trailers, but way less interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard a rumor that in the new Mission Impossible trailer, in all the trailers, in all the footage of it, there's a giant set piece that they haven't shown one lick of that's in the movie. And I think that is the coolest idea.
That is cool.
For an action movie.
That's like what it should be, because I hate when they give away the entire, any exciting moment in the trailer.
All these big movies that are 5 different action set pieces, you always end up seeing some of them. You know what I mean? And it's not truly a spoiler to find out Tom Cruise jumps a motorcycle over a pool or whatever.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily go, I saw that in the trailer when you're watching it, but it's like, it's already in your head.
But a couple of, like when I went to see that movie, The Nice Guys with Gosling and Russell Crowe, which I loved, I'm a diehard big Shane Black fan, I was so excited. And like 3 jokes were spoiled. And it's like, I get it. You want to show that the movie's funny, but like, I feel like choose 2 jokes and never show other jokes in trailers.
Totally.
Jokes especially because they land so flat when you've heard them before.
Absolutely.
Wait, there was something else I wanted to say. Veronica Mars, trailers, footage. It'll come back to me.
Just keep saying words.
Oh, I hate spoilers so much. This is so random. Spoiler story. I went to go see The Departed in the theaters. Tiffany had heard a spoiler about the movie. She's like, I know something huge that happens in this movie. I'm like, babe, do not tell me. She's like, I won't. We watched the whole movie. And I'm like, wow. And then I'm like, there's not really any like weird, huge turns in this. It's very enjoyable, but there's not huge turns in it. And I'm like, Tiff, what was the spoiler you heard? And she goes, I think it was a spoiler for a different movie. And I go, what? And she goes, yeah, I didn't even enjoy this movie because the whole time I'm waiting for this spoiler thing to happen. And like whatever the specifics are, it's like, there was never even a girl. You know what I mean? Like, and she's like, she couldn't figure out. And I'm like, so you're watching the movie expecting an outcome that is
so
never going
frustrating.
To
Oh my God.
That's worse than knowing what's actually going to happen.
Oh, that's awful.
So listeners, shout us out.
That happened to somebody I know where they got the spoiler of The Sixth Sense. Who did this happen to? And they're like, he's dead the whole time. And then in their mind, they thought it was the kid. So they still had a reveal.
Oh, that's so funny.
The whole time they're going, he's dead. And
they're finding all the, see, look, he's obviously dead.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Okay, so... tweet at us if you have an idea for a show we can do this with. I still kind of want to do House. I've never seen that.
I think ER would be a fun one.
Yeah.
House sounds good.
Yeah. I've seen like some ER, but like I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I've seen some ER. I mostly just know the black dude's punch from the credits. Do you know the part I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
I forget what the actor's name is, but he does like a black and white punch in like a hallway, and it's like the coolest.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about. Yes.
He does like a weird karate move. That's burned in my head.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. Veronica Mars. We're getting after it.
I'm in. All right.
Wait, should we just run by Josh, who did watch the show? Were we egregiously wrong about anything, Josh?
You pretty spot on for the most part, honestly.
Nice.
Yeah. Does she?
The first season is great. You got to watch it.
Okay, so do you feel? In your opinion, do you think it gets worse as it goes on?
First season is fantastic. Second season is very good.
Are they in high school or college in second season?
Still in high school.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Third season is where, as you guys were kind of alluding to, they stopped doing the season-long arc and sort of do a lot of like little mini arcs. They actually, there's a bit from the Wikipedia. The third season took a different format to increase viewership because they were in danger of getting canceled. So they were like, we're going to do smaller mystery arcs.
Oh, wow.
That makes
so people
sense.
are more jumping in.
So that's
points.
why there was no big resolution.
And that's why the tone feels different too.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
interesting.
So that season was not as good.
And
Yeah.
before I watch it, this is a spoiler I want to know. Does she find out who raped her at that party?
Yes, God, it's
But
been a
don't
while
say
since
who
I've
it
seen it.
is.
But I'm not going
You
to spoil
do
anything.
find out.
Okay, good. That's all.
I like knowing that you get a resolution to something like that.
He's the hero of season 2, somehow.
And we love his character. And he's so likable.
Better not be Piz. I fucking love Piz.
I love his in the relationship.
I drink a gallon of Piz every day.
All right, let's take a break. It's now time for a segment we like to call Improvised Sitcoms.